In this video, I'm going to be showing you the basics of the Java for loop. So the for loop is what is considered a counter control loop. Essentially what that does is if you want to print something out or do something with a statement a certain number of times, you would set a counter variable and you would have the for loop to repeat that statement that number of times. So let's say you wanted to take an integer, starting it at like number 1 for example, and then you want to go all the way up to 10, so you're printing out the first 10 digits. How you could do that is you have your for loop syntax, which is going to be for parentheses. First you have your initializer, which is going to keep track. This is going to be your counter variable. So typically people use I and they assign it to 0 because usually you're working with indexes. Now after that is your conditional. You'd have I is less than, I is greater than, less than or equal, depends on what you're doing. In our situation, we're going to be going up to the number 10. So we want to print anything that goes less than 10. Less than 11, because we're going for up to 10. So we would do I less than 11, or we could do I is less than or equal to 10. And then you're going to decide whether you want to increment or decrement. So we're starting from the beginning, so starting at 0 or 1, and we're going to do I plus plus because we want to increment. If we want to decrement, or go down each time, you would do I minus minus. Then you have your curly brackets, then you have the body of your code, the body of this code block. And then what you would do is, you can take a system.out.println, and you're going to print out I. Now, as it's written right now, we would be printing out 0 going up to 10. But if we wanted to do only the first 10 digits, we would change this to 1 if we didn't want to include 0. That way we're getting an output of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's check to make sure that works. And as you see, we have that right over here. Now, we can use a for loop for a variety of things. Let's say instead we want to print out only the even numbers. So we could change that to start at 0, and because it's going to be every other, we can do an extra I plus plus. So each time this is going to increment by 2, and that should only print out the even numbers. See, so now we have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And you can use this for anything you want. So to summarize, the for loop is a counter-controlled loop, and you are using it to repeat a statement a set amount of times. Alright, so that's all for today's video. If you have any other topics you want covered specifically, please leave a comment and I will be sure to check it out and try my best to answer your question.